Hey, it's Chuck.
And I don't think he's going to throw the ball as much as he thinks he's going to throw the ball now that Chip Kelly's on board. And I'm happy about that. More quarterback.
The truth is, Ryan Day has made a change philosophically, but it's none of those.
You all know who wins. LSU is the drunkest fan base in the country.
And welcome in, friends. Appreciate you joining me. Sorry about the little delay. Time got away from me there for a second. We are here live on a Sunday for the announcement of Kayden Dixon-Wyatt, which will come, well, they're going to start the show in 10 minutes. We'll see how long he takes once he actually gets there. But Kayden Dixon-Wyatt will make his decision. Kayden Dixon-Wyatt, teammate of Chris Henry Jr., on a staff full of elite recruiters. Brian Hartline in a class of his own, as always, the best recruiter in college football. Other players involved in this recruitment of Dixon-Wyatt, you got USC, Alabama, Texas, but this has been an Ohio State, Oregon recruitment for a while now. Another head-to-head battle, Bucks versus Ducks, and Oregon had the lead about a month ago, and then Kayden Dixon-Wyatt came to Columbus, had a conversation with Ryan Day, Brian Hartline, and it leaked from a source close to him that Ohio State was in the lead. The following week, Dixon-Wyatt and Messiah Hampton, another Buckeye wide receiver target, both went out to Oregon, and Oregon had a chance to kind of turn that around. And then the following week after that, Dixon-Wyatt came back for Ohio State's spring game. So it was 2 visits in like a 3-week time period. He did end up going back to Oregon. They had the last visit. This is a kid out of Mater Dei. And Mater Dei, obviously, we've talked about the Mater Dei curse forever. Now, some people say that Chris Henry Jr. broke the Mater Dei curse. I still don't count that as breaking the curse, because Chris Henry Jr. committed when he was an Ohio high school football player. Mater Dei was always a USC pipeline. In the last 10 years, Oregon kind of took that over. Tons of talent out there, obviously. Jordan Davison was a running back we were in on last year. We didn't get that victory, but honestly, the Buckeyes kind of pulled out. But that's it. Like, something always happens, right? Kayden Dixon-Wyatt, up until the most recent updated rankings, wildly different opinions on him. We could start with his height. Like, he's listed anywhere from 6'1" to 6'3". I'll show you some film here in a minute. You can be the judge. I think he's closer to 6'3". But for the longest time, On3 had him as a 3-star, like the number 105th ranked wide receiver in the country. The most recent updated rankings for them, they jumped him up to a 4-star, number 43 wide receiver, 265 overall in the country. 247 always been high on him. He is their number 58 overall player, number 6 wide receiver. So a huge difference. And for a guy from such a high profile school with his kind of size, who's, had a platform since he was a sophomore, and Brian Hartline is in on him. Clearly his track record pretty good. You don't usually see such wild variance there. But honestly, it doesn't take a Brian Hartline level talent evaluator to see what makes this kid a little different. He is a potential big play every time he's on the field. Crazy body control, a real knack for big time catches, natural hands. He's strong. He's big. Uses his body to box out, kind of like Quincy Porter. And currently in this class right now, you've got committed already to Hartline, the number 1 guy, the 5-star Mr. Everything, Chris Henry Jr., who only got to play a couple of games last year at Mater Dei because of his knee injury. And Kayden Dixon-Wyatt was the dude. So let's watch a little bit of Dixon-Wyatt. Show you what I'm talking about here. I recorded this last night. Kayden Dixon-Wyatt, Inglewood, always up to no good, out there at Mater Dei. And the thing that you notice about Kayden Dixon-Wyatt, he's not a blazer. He's got really good size. He's listed at either 6'2" or 6'3". I'm going with 6'3". You can see the long legs right there. And next to Hartline, who's 6'3", about the same size. But, the knock on him, if there is one, is not incredibly fast. I think he plays really fast, but obviously what jumps out is that. Really, really, really top-notch body control in full sprint. He can twist and turn and do all sorts of things that most guys you can't teach. Just contested catches after contested catches with crazy body control. He's a highlight film. This thing will go on for 7 minutes if we let it. And, so many of them like that it's just, it's really impressive. like that. You know what I mean? It's just some of this stuff you can't teach. It's just natural athleticism. This one in particular, obviously the DB gets, he blows by this DB, bad coverage, but the way he catches this ball and just brings it in, just snatches it, it's just natural hands, man. The kid is just natural. This play right here looks like Jeremiah Smith's play against Tennessee. You'll see what I mean here. He catches it, puts this really hard stutter step on the corner and just shoots right by him. Love that. There aren't too many plays watching him catch it and run after yards after the catch. We don't see many of that in his highlight film. There is a little bit, but not much. It's mostly just ridiculous. Look at that. Look at that. You know how hard that is to be running one way with your head and then flip in the middle of the air and time it perfectly with the ball. Dude's ridiculous. Listen. So you see what I'm talking about? Like, this is a big time dude. I mean, a big time dude. Right now, Oregon has 0 wide receivers committed in their wide receiver class, which, obviously that's probably pretty enticing for Dixon-Wyatt. The Ohio State wide receiver class right now, obviously you look at what they have in the system, and then you got Chris Henry Jr., and then you got Brock Boyd out of South Lake Carroll. Brock was committed to TCU. He is a composite top 400 guy. The rankings have never really loved him. For starters, he was listed as undersized. He was listed as 6 foot, 165 pounds. That's since been corrected by his mom, 6'1.5", 185 pounds. A production machine in 6A Texas football. A kid who can really do it all. 111 catches, 1,800 yards, 20 touchdowns, broke a record while winning the state championship with receptions. And he gets a lot of that production partly due to his speed. He's a burner, 21.7 seconds in the 200. To put it in context, freshman Phillip Bell at Ohio State had a great spring, and he looks like he's going to be a dude for Ohio State. 24.7 is his 200-meter time. So Brock Boyd, a legit burner and absolute NFL potential. His older brother, a Texas Tech wide receiver who transferred to Utah State. And while Boyd was committed to TCU, it wasn't like, Ohio State was his only big offer. Tennessee was after him, Oregon, Ole Miss, Oklahoma. He's a legit dude. And then you got Jaden Ricketts, the hometown boy from Pataskala, a 200 type kid, top 200 overall type kid. And he got his offer, the camp route, another burner. He hustles, he blocks. We don't have much film on him, but here's what Jaden Ricketts looks like. Jaden Ricketts, baby. Here's our Buckeye from Pataskala. Right place, right time, hustle kind of kid. Watch him on defense here. Teammate picks up the fumble. He's 20 yards behind the play. Teammate fumbles the ball, and there's Ricketts to get that son of a gun for a touchdown. Gotta love the hustle on that, by the way. Smoked everybody on the field. Here is him blocking as a wide receiver. This has got Buckeye written all over it right here. Springs his buddy. Go, buddy, go. Now, let's see him with the ball in his hands a little bit here. No, we're going to block again. Springs his buddy. All right, now we get to see him with the ball in his hands. My man's got yards after catch. Gonna smoke this angle. Oh, that poor guy. He smoked it. He's a burner. He's got great moves. There's not a lot of film on him. There's not a lot. But the little that we do got, we see some serious yards after catch ability. Watch this poor guy. He doesn't get within 3 yards of him. All right, so that's our hometown guy from Pataskala. So you're looking at Chris Henry Jr., Brock Boyd, and Jaden Ricketts so far in this wide receiver. I love those three. So whether Dixon-Wyatt chooses to be a Buckeye or not, there's a lot of other options here going on at wide receiver. And, Messiah Hampton is one, obviously, that is a really top-notch dude. He is kind of, Oregon or Ohio State right now as well. And, who knows if you get, it might be, Oregon gets one, Ohio State gets the other of either of these two guys, and either one would be an unbelievable fourth. So we got 116 in the countdown. When we look at where the Buckeyes currently stand right now, you got 11 commits in the class, which is, a pretty healthy number considering they started off in a hole here, playing longer than anybody else except Notre Dame. They've got 2 top 100 guys in the class. I'm going to put this into context here because it's pretty crazy. USC right now. So Ohio State has 11 guys in the class, which is a healthy number at this point. USC has 27 total commitments right now. They are pushing kids so hard to commit now. That is a huge, that's what Ohio State had in the entire class last year. It was a big class. They've got 27 commitments already. Notre Dame, with the number 2 class right behind USC, they've got 14 commitments. So the class roughly sitting about 5th or 6th right now. And that number means absolutely nothing at this point. All we're looking is to, add our talent as it comes. A lot of people concerned about defensive line. There's only one of Ohio State's defensive line targets right now that has committed. So it's not like they're missing anybody yet. These guys just haven't decided. But yeah, no defensive lineman currently committed. As Tom Loy pops up on the screen here, Tom Loy from 247, and it looks like we're going to get Kayden Dixon-Wyatt popping up on the screen here in a bit. I've got that queued up here that I'll be able to pull that up for us to watch when they get him on the screen here. And we'll be able to watch that live here. Let's see if I can do it.
Prospect. He is a 6'2", 180.
You guys hear that?
Moderate
You just hear me?
Santa Ana, California.
I'll mute that.
He's ranked by 24/7 Sports as the number 59 overall player in the 2026 class, the number 6 receiver in America, and the number 10 recruit in California. Last fall, he totaled 50 catches for a little over.
You can hear it. Okay. So I just muted it until they're ready to go. But MC Drew thinks that PJ Dean is a lock. Certainly a beast of a football player. Asian Posh thinks that Carter Meadows, I'm enjoying the Mark Givler, Kevin Noon show. Yeah, I like those guys. USC restocking the shelves since so many left. They're trying to funnel out some of the not so great players and build it up. They started off on a tear last recruiting cycle as well. They started off on a tear and they ended up losing most of their top tier guys. They had about 3 top tier dudes and all 3 of them flipped out. So they had a, top 15-ish type class. This year, they have got 8 top 100 players committed right now, which I was looking at this last year. Check this out. Or last night. Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, Texas, Oklahoma, and Michigan, all combined, don't have as many top 100 players committed right now as USC. It's pretty ridiculous. All right, let me pull this sound up here. Looks like we're talking.
Finally, commitment day. Looking at your journey as a whole, how does it feel to finally be here at this big moment?
I'll say it's a very long process, but I'm grateful for everything and all the coaches and everybody.
And I already mentioned the fact that you had 40 plus offers. You've since narrowed it down to 5 schools, but let's take a look at each one. First up, what is it about Alabama that has the Crimson Tide in the mix?
I'll say the coaching staff. I really got a good relationship with everyone, and I've been there last year, and it was a good visit. So yeah.
And then moving on to the second finalist, we got Ohio State. What is it about the Buckeyes that has them in contention?
Like I said, really good relationship with Coach Day and Coach Hartline. I talk to them like every month, so it's a really good relationship, and I got along with all the guys. So yeah.
Oregon's another heavy hitter. Why are the Ducks in contention?
I know a lot of teammates there. Good relationship again with all the coaches. Good area, and yeah.
Texas has long been considered a major threat in your process. What do you like about the Longhorns?
The Longhorns, they jumped on me early since like 8th grade. Had a real good relationship with coaches, and yeah.
And last but certainly not least, right there in your backyard, you got the USC Trojans. What is it about them that has them as a top 5 finalist?
I would say, they're right in the backyard. Someone that's always dreamed of playing at USC and things like that. So yeah.
All right, Kayden, it's that time. The moment is yours. Take a breath. Don't you be nervous. Why don't you tell everybody where you're headed to continue your academic and athletic career?
First, I would like to thank Jesus Christ. Without Jesus Christ, none of this would be possible. I want to thank my mother my family and my friends. Big shout out to Coach Pat, Coach and then Parker, and all my team. But with that being said, and my coaches, that being said, I will be going to the Ohio State.
Absolute tremendous pickup for the Buckeyes. Brian Hartline leading the way as the primary recruiter. I know Ryan Day's fired up in Columbus right now, that's for sure.
Go Bucks.
Wow, what a big gig. Kayden, you got me again?
Yes, sir. Go Bucks.
All right, man. So tell everybody, cut, make it easy. What went into your decision to be a Buckeye?
It's obviously a no-brainer. Coach Hartline and all the guys really good. If you want to be an elite receiver, you go to Ohio State.
Take everybody behind the scenes. I love asking this question. Show everybody a little bit more about how it all played out when you told the staff, and then obviously what was their reaction when you told them you wanted to head to Ohio State.
I got to FaceTime with Coach Ryan Day. Everybody was super fired up, and everybody just came in and welcomed me. So yeah.
Look, you said it. Ohio State.
Kayden Dixon-Wyatt in the class. That's 4 for Brian Hartline, the #1 recruiter in the country. That was a big one, man. That was a big one. DeCorian Moore, somebody just put in the chat here while I was watching that and not talking, that DeCorian Moore sent out the duck emoji while this kid was up there, which, by the way, that's a classless move, but absolutely love it. Joshua Perry says, kids will leave USC. Riley losing it out there. Yeah, man, it's risky business here. What's going on? You know, when you jam pack so many guys in a class like this, you're going to lose a lot. Emily said, everyone's saying it's Oregon, no question. Emily, quit listening to everyone. I don't know who he is. Buckeye Steve, I.O. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Little Boy Gaming says, since we didn't get Rock Hill, we need the kid from Bergen Catholic. Yes, Jordan Thomas is a huge priority now at corner. Pariah Docs, love when these guys pull the hat for thee and give praise to the name above all names. Mike Schaefer says, Hartline shutting it down early so he can concentrate on calling plays, man. Isn't that great? Dude's got 4. Now, could he potentially take a 5th? Look, if Jalen Lott or Messiah Hampton want in the class, or Braden Robinson even, yeah, he'll take 5. He'll take 5. When we look up, obviously Carnell is going to be gone at the end of this year. That leaves you Innis and Rogers in the senior class when this crew comes in. Then you got Jalen and Milan would be juniors, and they would be both probably gone after that year. So really, they're looking at the 4 freshmen ahead of them. And, you know, they could fit 5 easily. What's up, Ken? Ken says, wish a kid commits to Ohio State, how he doesn't play any games, not throwing on other hats, trying to fake people out. Straight Buckeye hat, thanks God, and moves on. So that's funny. I got a story about that. Grandpa Buck says the modern day curse officially broken. Now I'm with you. I did not think the Chris Henry Jr. commitment broke the modern day curse. Obviously, we do got to get to signing day still. We got a commitment, but Chris Henry Jr. committed to Ohio State when he was playing football in Ohio. So I don't really consider that the modern day curse broken. This one, absolutely. Henry Jr. and KDW, man, do the rich get richer. That's one heck of a 1-2, man. Teammates. I love that. We are on the sets of teammates, man. We had last year 2 sets of teammates with Deshaun Stewart and Des Jones from DePaul Catholic in New Jersey. Then we also had 2 also New Jersey boys who play in Philadelphia, Isaiah West and Max Roy. They went to St. Joe's in Philadelphia, but both from New Jersey. But now another set of teammates. I love it. Brandingo says, I wonder to what extent Chris Henry Jr. helped with this. We had a sleeper cell at Mater Day to help recruit. Absolutely. Joshua Perry says, want to be an elite receiver. There's no better place than Ohio State. Hartline is the king. And that's just it. This is why I love these kids. Look, these guys are signing up to know that they may not play for 2 or 3 years when they can go somewhere else and play right now. And when you sign up for that, it shows that you've got it in you, you're going to have to wait. You're going to have to wait your turn. Everybody does. It's pretty, it says a lot about the guys that do that. DK Cook says Ohio player goes to USC or goes to Cali and a Cali player comes to Ohio. Oh, you noticed the Katzenmoyer. Agent Posh noticed the Katzenmoyer jersey. I hung it up. It's over there, guys. You see it? Looks pretty good, huh? I love it. William Palmer, Tate Innes, and JJ were teammates in high school too. Yeah, South Florida Express, they played together. Yeah, Ken, I'll say. I pulled it up because you usually bring good stuff. Yeah, it was definitely destroyed. Phil Knight ran out of money. Yeah, where's the shoe deal? Naeem Offord took it all. Dudes. Ohio State wide receivers are dudes. Absolutely. All right, my friends. I appreciate you so much for joining me. Just wanted to come on live and hopefully have a little celebration with you here on a Sunday for that announcement. It was certainly awesome. Kayden Dixon-Wyatt, now the 4th wide receiver in the class for the Buckeyes. Brian Hartline continues to cement his legacy as one of the greatest recruiters we've ever seen in college football. He, it's that serious at this point. One of the greatest we've ever seen. What he's done, when you look at position coaches, there are very few position coaches. If I asked you, or if you asked me, like, who do you consider the greatest safety coach in the game or the greatest tight ends coach in the game? Like, these names don't come to mind. Ask any college football fan, who's the number 1 wide receiver coach in the country? Without a doubt, it's Brian Hartline. And if you asked him in the history of college football, most people probably say it too. It's a great feeling, man. It's a great feeling. Appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for joining me at Juck on Bucks for a quick Sunday. Kayden Dixon-Wyatt, a Buckeye, joining his teammate Chris Henry Jr., Brock Boyd, and Jaden Ricketts as 4 wide receivers in the class of 2026, a class that is top 5 and climbing. I'll talk to you soon. Juck on Bucks out.